Thank you so much for being here today. Could you tell us who you are, for starters?
Hi Marina, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm Bernd. I'm born 1982 in a beautiful little city called Bad Pyrmont, it's near Hanover. And when I was 25, I moved to Hamburg. And I used to live in Hamburg for 5 years. And I moved to Berlin when I was 31, so I'm already 10 years here in Berlin.
So I know that your relationship with electronic music and DJing started at a really young age.
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell me where it all started?
It's when I started with electronic music, when I really proper started with electronic music, I was 14. It was
14. Wow.
Yes. I bought my first turntables, my Gemini turntables and my first Vestax mixer in 1996, when I completely fall in love with electronic music. I was always driven from music, but in this time electronic music wasn't that big. And when I discovered music for myself, like Michael Jackson, Prince, Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever, I love to watch it and I love to dance. But it was very important for me, like I loved the beat, I loved to dance. And in this time I discovered electronic music. It was 1996, yeah. And I fall in love that I immediately wanted to start playing music. And I bought my first turntables from my pocket money. And yeah, this is where I started with everything, yeah.
I think you once mentioned that when you were, I think again 14 or 15, that you snuck away from your parents and caught a train to go to a specific record store.
Yes, right. That's true.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. I know. I mentioned this to you before. So it was like you can imagine. I mean, in Bad Pyrmont we are like 20,000 people, so it's kind of a village. So in this time, when you said electronic music, techno or something, nobody really knew what is this, yeah. So, and you couldn't buy any records in this time, and there was no internet, there was no digital, there were no CDJs, or I'm downloading any files, so I had to buy records. But first of all, I took the records from my father, and my father had Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever, Grease, etc. And but I had a friend. He was, I think, 3-4 years older than me, and he already started a little bit more playing music. And I asked him, hey, where you get your records from? And he told me there is a store called Crazy Tunes. It's behind the central station in Hanover, and yeah, there you can go and you buy records. And I thought, oh my God, when I go alone to Hanover, I was 14, my parents, they kill me. And I didn't tell, I never told them I go there. So I took my pocket money, and it was in this time still Deutsche Mark. And I think I paid for a record like 8 Deutsche Mark, 9 Deutsche Mark. And I remember I drove with the train alone, super excited, tried to find the store behind the central station, like he told me. And when I came in the first time, I thought I'm in my paradise. And I just saw all these records, but I didn't have that much money. So, but I remember I was listening to everything what was there, to every genre, was like electro, to house music. So I was completely open for everything. So, but at the end of the day, after maybe 5 hours, I just had 50 Deutsche Mark. So I went home with my 5 records. And I was so happy, and I had already on the way back in my train, I remember that I really started a relationship with my records. And when I came home, I couldn't wait to play them. So yeah, that's where I got my records from my first records. And I bought their records over a couple of years because it was the absolute greatest store in Niedersachsen. For me, I never liked this super industrial and super hard sound, and I never liked really this trancey sound. I always loved this driven, groovy, fast sound. Warm sound.
Atmospheric, yeah. I think.
Absolutely. So
I resonate with that.
Yeah, and over these years, so with collecting records and discovered more and more the sound, my sound. I think I can say my sound is very fast, driven, deep, but with lots of love. And what really make people smile and happy and give them a good energy.
I know that you've created an especially strong connection to the scene here in Berlin.
Yes.
Could you tell me a bit about how the pandemic affected you on a personal and a professional level? Because I know that beyond being an artist and a DJ, you are really a raver at heart.
Yeah. After I built my network and had so many friends in the scene who did so many different things, had a booking agency, was an artist, was just a producer, just did events. So in this time when the pandemic hits us, I saw that so many people immediately start struggling a lot. And for me it was the same, because in this time when the pandemic hits us, I was really growing. Like, I think that was really the time when I invested everything, like already like 2-3 years before I started making events. I was working with a friend who had a booking agency. I started playing on my own parties, like in Griesmühle. And so I was already like on a good way, but at this moment, you didn't know what to do anymore. So you didn't know when the clubs are open again, and everything was looking really, really bad. Yeah. And I saw all my friends around me who started struggling, but I had already a career behind me in technology. So I'm from the internet scene. Like, I'm working already 15 years professional in internet startups or in bigger internet companies. Mm-hmm. And I went out from these companies to start my professional career in music. And it was running nice. But in this moment, I saw, okay, what is happening here right now? So I thought to be safe, and but because at the end of the day, of course, it's your passion what you're doing. But on the other side, I wanted still a good life. Yeah.
There was so much instability at the time in terms of knowing what was going to happen, what we could rely on.
Exactly. Yeah. So and I saw so many friends of mine who were definitely like bigger than me in the music scene, and did this so long and was so talented. And at some point, they didn't even know how to pay the rent anymore. Yeah. And it was so sad for me to see this. And I tried to say, okay, so I should go back in my old job and go back in the internet industry, what I did, to get a normal income, to have a normal substance, a routine. But I never stopped playing music for myself at home or collecting records. When you're so passionate about something and you're such a passionate person, it's so hard to do something different just because of money. Because when you're young, maybe you dream from this, that you do your career, you want to be successful, and you have little pictures in your head where you say, okay, what means successful for you? And then you see, oh, I want a nice car, I want a nice flat, I need some money, I want some nice clothes. But at some point for me, all these things are not really important for me in my life. Of course I want to pay my rent, but I don't need a car. It doesn't matter for me. I don't need to go shopping for and with that much money, because I think when you just do what you love, then all these things around, all these material things, they are absolutely not important in your life anymore, because you wake up every morning and you do what you love. Yeah. And then it doesn't matter how much money you make. So if you do it right, you will survive and you will go your way. And
it's fair to say that in our line of work, it's quite difficult to survive only on music until you reach a certain level. And unfortunately, to reach that level, you need to have resources to invest into your career.
Absolutely.
Especially in today's state of the industry, I suppose. So, a lot of people face the dilemma of like, I need to maintain a job, but it's taking so much energy out of me, and also and at sometimes it can drain your artistic output.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, you're running low on focus and inspiration, because you've really channeled all of that into a job that you're not enjoying so much.
Let's say maybe something in my words to catch up. I think to be creative and have so much pressure to pay your rent and everything, and you have the feeling you have to do this, then at some point it's really hard to produce music and be creative because it's not coming natural, because you have the feeling you have to do this now. And so maybe some people can do that, but I found out for myself, if I have so much pressure and I put so much pressure on myself and I have to do this now and I have to finish this now, then it's not coming natural anymore. And then I'm really losing my, then I'm not, I can't be that creative anymore, and I'm not.
Are you referring to just having music as your main job to survive on, or do you mean balancing the music with a full-time job like you were previously?
Yes, I think you can do both. I think you can, to a certain point, because when you really want to grow as a musician or as an artist, it's a full-time job. It's not just I'm playing one gig on a weekend. How much preparing is this, and how much you have to invest in everything? This costs you so much time. And when you have a job and you work like 10 hours a day like I did, so then you don't have the time to go in the studio anymore. So you can't be focused on the weekends, because you can't play on a Sunday night when you have to work on Monday morning.
Or you do, and you just sleep maybe an hour.
Or maybe you're not feeling right on Monday morning.
Which is a lot of fun.
So, okay, but I mean, like, you can do this for a while, but you have to take a decision at some point. I think this is very important. But for me, it's always like time is of the essence. And when you feel this is the right point now, and you have some savings, let's say it like this, that you think, okay, so the next year maybe it's no problem to pay my rent and I have my money, or the next 6 months maybe, and you really feel right, and you're in a position where you can say, okay, come on, now all in, because this is what I really want to do for my future. Then you can stop this. But then you really have to be ready, take a decision, and really all in.
So I understand that the reason that you stopped playing for a while was because during the pandemic, you had to shift to a much more corporate lifestyle, right?
Exactly.
So I can imagine when you're creative, and especially when you've been so connected to music from such a young age, it must have been quite challenging to go from wanting to focus on your artistic career when it was actually starting to gain momentum, to going to a completely different path in technology. And coming out of the pandemic, I know that you were able to reconnect to the scene. Was going out, was it able to help you kind of cope with the pressures of your day-to-day corporate job as well?
Yes, absolutely. So I can say, because the pandemic was so long, I think so many people, they lost a little bit their drive and their happiness with the music, because they completely forgot what's going on, not only in music, I think in so many other jobs, because you didn't know what's going on anymore, and so many people focus on something else. And so I was just happy that I had a corporate job. And I liked my job. Yes, it was very challenging for me, and but at the end of the day, I was never really happy. I was never waking up in the morning and I said, wow, this is what I'm doing now, and I really love this. I just did it to have a good life, not because it's my passion. And I saw so many other people when they started, or when they came out from when the pandemic stopped, they tried to start playing again. They tried to find their way again. But in this time, I was like in a fully corporate job. And I decided, okay, I leave it like this, and I just go forward to work in this job. And I just supported all my friends around me. So I was definitely connecting to everyone again. But I saw so many friends started playing again and producing again, and I was supporting lots of my friends, and I thought at some point, okay, it's I'm not really happy. It's time to change something. and find my new way. So, and it's not easy, but I'm on the way to do it.
So you were previously playing under Clarix.
Right.
Is there a reason you've changed your artist name now?
Clarix was a really nice name. I really liked it, and nobody was like, the name was Clarix, and I really liked it for this moment. But I never felt really 100% comfortable that this is me. Yeah. But I always thought that BRND is not a proper artist name. But today I don't know why I thought in the past this is not a nice artist name, because it's me. And in the past, when I had this name, I just found my way. Let's say it like this. So I found my way, my sound. I'm still working on my sound, of course. But in the past, it was okay. I was okay with my name. But today, because I start fresh for myself. For me, everything what I'm doing now, all the projects what I'm starting already, this is completely new, and I think that should be completely me. And I shouldn't hide behind another artist's name. I should use my name because this is me, and I don't care.
Feels more authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you've been asked to play several times before, and you've declined.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you said yes to this request this time?
First of all, I took a decision that at the beginning of the year, it was in March, April, I decided I'm really not happy anymore in this corporate world, and I stop. And this is what I did, and now I said, okay, so now I want to try to find my way as an artist, so I took a decision. So I think this is the most important thing, that you say, okay, I take a decision now and I do it. And I was waiting a little bit for the right opportunity, because I thought I don't need to name these clubs. So I was thinking about lots of some requests. That's not the right thing for me. It's not the right club. It's not the right environment. And so because I grow up in Tresor, and Tresor is a big name, when I got the request from you, everything felt perfect. Everything felt right. And I had the feeling in this moment, I knew, okay, come on, this is my time. Now let's do it.
I'm very grateful that you said yes.
I'm very grateful that you gave me the opportunity, that you came in the right time. Yeah.
It sounds like, I love it when things are aligned appropriately in everyone's timeline. I know that you have quite an early connection to Tresor as well.
Yes.
And you've experienced a Tresor that I've never experienced.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. Like I said, I started music very, very early, because I'm 41, and in the middle of the 90s, when I went the first time to Berlin, the place to be for me, I went to Love Parade, and I think it was 1997 the first time, and and then I went after the Love Parade. I went the first time. I was thinking, okay, I want to go to an after party. And then I went the first time to Tresor. And when I see the place today, where it's now the Mall of Berlin, you can't imagine there was a Tresor. So yes, I went there, and I fall in love. It was like a proper techno Berlin style club. So, and I remember Sven Fee, Jeff Mills, etc. Really big names. They were playing there, and yes. So this was my beginning, and I went there a couple of times. So, and when I traveled to Berlin, I always went to Tresor, because it was one of my favorites. Absolutely my favorites. But at some point Tresor was closed there, because they bought it, then they built the Mall of Berlin there, etc. But the new Tresor opened here around the corner in the Vattenfall property. And then I went there, of course. So I have a long story with Tresor, and I think it's one of the most important influences clubs in Germany. Definitely. Yeah. Big name. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is going to be your first time playing in Tresor?
That's right.
Can you tell me a bit of what you're planning for your set?
What I'm planning for my set.
A little bit.
A little bit what I'm planning for my set. Yeah, I think it's not only what I'm planning for this set. What I would always plan, I would always plan for a set. I'm trying to make a journey for the people who come because to see me. And of course it's different when you play in Tresor and you play really in Tresor, not in Globus. So it is a faster sound and it's a little bit harder sound. So I definitely play driven, pretty fast sound there. Yes, this is what I'm planning. But always try to make a journey. Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Thank you very much.
And I'm very grateful to have you be part of the event. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and having this conversation.
Yes.
And for all the amazing stories.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.